Welcome to the November 12th, 2025 meeting of the Town of Montgomery Industrial Development Agency. I'd like to note that we have a full quorum today, starting with Jose, Stacy, Matt, myself, Tom, George, Bob, and Greg, in addition to our Executive Director, Vincent. We are going to switch up the agenda, the order of the agenda today. The agenda will remain the same, but just in a different order. We are going to ask for a motion to go into executive session to discuss potential candidates for new IDA board seats.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Second. All in favor, or we'll go down the row. Sorry, Jose?
Aye.
Stacy?
Aye.
Matt?
Aye.
Myself is an aye?
Aye.
Yep.
Aye.
All right, we have the motion. We expect to be back within 30 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
we're live, okay.
We're live. So now that we're back into the public meeting, I just want to ask if there are any questions or comments on the meeting minutes from October 14th, 2025? None? If I can, take a motion to adopt them.
Make the motion.
Second?
I'll second.
All right. Jose?
Aye.
Stacy?
Aye.
Matt?
Aye.
Myself's an aye.
I wasn't
George?
Aye.
Okay, abstention? All right, we have one abstention and the rest are ayes. The next thing we'll ask for is a public comment on the items for the agenda. We don't have anyone in the room, so
No one called in?
no one called in or wrote in. We'll take that note. So now we'll move on to the executive director's report. Vincent?
Sure. Just before we get started, just want to take a moment, as you know, yesterday was Veterans Day, and just take a moment to recognize and thank the veterans on our board, Bob and Jose. Thank you for your service. And also to all veterans out there in the community. You know, not only did you step up to serve our country and protect our freedoms that we enjoy as Americans, but you continue to serve right here at home by volunteering your time and experience of the town of Montgomery and the IDA board. So just want to thank you for your commitment to service, and on behalf of the IDA, I think we all thank you very much. That being said, moving on to my report. Some key matters to take note of. So as you guys all recall, last year we applied for a water and sewer feasibility grant to do a study along 17K to extend water services. The IDA was awarded a $50,000 grant that we would have to provide a $50,000 match to. I understand our financial situation right now. The town has expressed a possible interest in assisting. How much they're willing to assist, I'm not 100% sure. But I'm also reaching out to the county for potential partnership as well with that, as the study can benefit a county-owned site that's on 17K that we're trying to attract for tourism. The IDA has to accept or deny the proposal by December 4th. So with that, I'm working with Lino and Rudy to see if we have the ability to accept the grant and kind of delay the start of the project for when we get funds, or if we accept it, if we have to use it immediately. You know, I don't know how the board would like to move forward with that, but I can definitely fill you guys in when I get the confirmation if we can accept and then kind of delay the project. Next month, for next month's board meeting, we're going to have to review our UTEP and mission statement for the 2026 policy cycle. So I asked the board to, you know, if you have free time, to take a look at our UTEP policy and our mission statement, see if there's anything you'd like to change or add in there, as we'll be discussing it next month and voting in January to adopt. Board seat vacancy, we already met in executive session, but we received a very strong response from quite a handful of qualified candidates for our upcoming board seat when Bob retires. Again, we already went in executive session and discussed it, but I will say, you know, we did receive a really good response of very good candidates, and it will be a very tough decision, I think, moving forward. Some project updates in business development over the last month. I met with the owner of Frassetto Companies, Chris Frassetto, who's exploring the construction of a 100,000 square foot speculative development in the town. Their focus is on attracting manufacturing tenants that, you know, and offer speed to market. Frassetto has I will say, he has a proven track record of building on spec and attracting quality tenants in Orange County. And, you know, I reiterated to Mr. Frassetto that any project the IDA does consider on spec, the developer has to understand the risks for them, because if they're you know, promising job creation and they put job creation on their application, they're required to hit those goals. So he understands the risk. He expressed he's not worried about it. He's got a couple tenants potentially lined up if they were to get the incentives and build. So it could be a project for the board to consider, and I expect an application from Frassetto in the near future. Sheffield Gardens, the developer for Sheffield Gardens, which is a proposed mixed-use project consisting of 260 market-rate housing units and 30,000 square feet of commercial space, is currently working on a draft IDA application. We recently met in my office to review the plans and renderings. I will say expanding available housing is essential to support advanced economic development. Without available housing in a community, it makes it very difficult for site selection consultants to consider our town for advanced development, the type of development that we hope to see, which is that advanced manufacturing, R&D, that type of scale projects. I had a conversation with the county this past week about a defense and aerospace manufacturer who is looking at one of our speculative sites in the town of Montgomery. In collaboration with the partnership, we're submitting an RFP tomorrow for the site and believe that we can offer a competitive advantage for what they're looking for, because they're looking for move-in ready sites, speculative sites or existing buildings. And the one that we have here in the town is currently under construction and almost completed, but they haven't been issued a CO yet, so we could still potentially offer them property tax abatements to help attract them here, which I think will give us a huge leg up on other sites that they're looking at throughout the county and throughout New York State. This project, it's a confidential U.S. defense and aerospace manufacturer that would look to assemble and manufacture jet engines and propulsion systems. So it could be a very good project, and I believe the average starting salary for that project would be about $37 an hour. So hopefully we'll hear more in the coming weeks, but they are looking to move fast and hope to have something in place by early 2026.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
What area are they looking at for this specific site?
It's the 84 Logistics Center behind Walgreens.
Behind Walgreens?
Yeah, the speculative build that's right down the road.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I continue to have talks with the advanced food manufacturer that I've mentioned in the past. They are waiting a final approval from the user. Speaking with the consultant, everything looks to be progressing in the right direction. And they confirm that the application is complete. It's just pending final approval from their internal process. Discussions, like I said, continue to progress positively, and I anticipate receiving a draft application in the coming weeks, hopefully this week or maybe next week. But I expect a big announcement hopefully by the end of the year for that project. A couple of events and meetings that I partook in this past month. Orange County Partnership's quarterly project meeting, which was hosted at Newburgh Brewery. The county continues to see a big influx of advanced manufacturing and economic development projects, several of which are considering Montgomery for investment. A key topic that I keep mentioning at these events is the growing film sector here in the town. How Montgomery has really established itself as the home of the film industry. So we look forward to maintaining that momentum and assist them with their continued investment here in the town. Partook in the monthly Economic Development Roundtable with the Orange County Partnership, which included representatives from the Orange County IDA, City of Middletown, City of Newburgh, myself from the Montgomery IDA, and Port Jervis IDA. I was pleased to bring to the table, with my discussions with SUNY Orange, I was able to get their Vice President of Workforce Development and Strategy to partake in the meeting, and he's going to, we're going to continue to collaborate with him, and they're going to be involved in these monthly roundtables to see how we can all work together to build up our workforce development programs to help attract future investment here. And that will do it for my monthly report.
Thank you, Vincent.
Vincent, I got a question.
Yeah.
Is there any update on that project in Maybrook they were gonna build the road?
That's the, that's the one, the advanced manufacturer that I'm talking with. It's, again, nothing has been submitted to us yet, so there's nothing I can say set in stone, but like I said, the talks are progressing pretty well. So we hope to have a good announcement by the end of the year.
A question. Since we will be meeting by December 4th, how will we make the determination for the grant?
It's a good question. Once I confirm with our council, I think the idea, if maybe we have a motion today to allow me to accept the proposal, if we can accept the grant but delay the project, or I can try to communicate with the board, or I don't know how we want to proceed with that. If we want to set like a special meeting to determine our answer, but it is a short timetable, and trying to figure out how we can get assistance from the county, see if they're willing.
My only hesitation is just the financial piece.
Yeah, mine too.
If they'll extend it, that's fine. And I also want to bring up, like I said, I understand why we were asked to partake in it. I understand a lot of people benefit. My only concern would be, there's no guarantee. We could do this study. Somebody could come into this area and not come to us. So, but yet, if they tie into a sewer someday, they pay a fee to do that. So my concern would be, is I would like to have some sort of stipulation, or to recommend to have a stipulation that we can recoup some of our funds that way if they pay that fee. If somebody comes in through our program, we should get a piece of something that we put out for the study.
Yeah.
That's my only.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a study to see how we can expand services. It's not to expand services.
But it's not really for us. It's for the entire town.
Right, but yeah.
We're just helping pay for it.
Yeah.
That's my only issue.
Yeah, no, I understand.
We can
I
recoup
think,
some of it.
Our mission is, at the IDA, is to help drive economic development in the town.
Sure.
So I think by us doing the grant and spending our money to help assist that and help facilitate that faster,
Right.
that was the idea. But I totally am with you that, at the time when we applied for this, the idea was that we would have the fee from the milk factory project, which is, we're not really sure what's happening at this point.
Right.
And we, that was a big chunk of money that we were gonna look to, utilize. Without that money, it does make it much, I wouldn't recommend spending $50,000 of IDA money
Right.
with our current fund balance until we start bringing a project. That being said, I do see projects on the horizon, and I think next year we're gonna have a pretty good year. So if we're able to delay the start of the project by a year and a half, to allow us to get some of that money in, that's a different story. So once I confirm with our council, if we're able to do that, Rudy, I don't know if you have the answer for that today. I know I sent the proposal that we received to you and Lino, I think it was Monday. I know Lino said he was gonna take a look at it. I don't know if he got around to it yet.
Lino and I have begun to confer about it, but not really in great depth yet.
Okay.
But we'll have an answer by the end of the week, I would expect.
I would suggest two things. Like, I think if we do this, there has to be interest at the town. Otherwise, we do something that doesn't get used, right? I think we run that risk. So we have to do something to
Well,
make sure the town.
I will say, I think there is interest at the
Yeah.
town, and I
Yeah.
expressed the financial situation with the town supervisor, and he said, oh, maybe we can, because that will benefit the town as well, maybe we can
Well,
assist, but
I think knowing how they're gonna use it's the key thing, right?
Right.
So, the second thing I would recommend too is, unless there's a reason, I'm assuming we could accept the grant and then relinquish it if we determine that we can't move forward with it.
Yeah.
And unless there's a risk that I'm not aware of around that.
I think from what I heard, I think it can I don't want to say blacklist us, but kind of maybe potentially hurt our chances.
But this
We're
is the only
getting-
chance right in front of us, right?
Right.
Is there any
That's a
way to
good point.
foresee, will it come up again next year?
Yeah, is this a
I
reoccurring
mean, is
grant?
there?
I would imagine it is. I can find out from the grants person. I don't have the answer right now.
Because that might solve it all,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know?
But I would assess the downside of accepting it and then relinquishing it
Yeah.
if necessary. And then maybe the chances of reapplying next year and see what
Okay.
we could do.
Yeah, I'll try giving the ESD office a call, see if I can get a hold of them, and
And it's up to, I'm sorry,
No, no.
and it's only up to 50,000, it doesn't mean we have to spend that,
so
Right.
what
How
it
much
is,
is the
it's a 50% match.
right?
So when we put in the application, we put it that it was gonna cost about $100,000 to do the study. So the ESD is gonna give us $50,000 as reimbursement. So we would actually have to spend the total project cost up front, and then ESD would, as we submit the receipts to them, they would reimburse
Right.
us.
Do we know, is that really what a study costs? I mean, have we really looked at
No,
that?
that's the thing, we would have to put out the RFP now that we had, that's why I think like,
So we really don't
we
know.
may be able to delay it.
Right.
You know, it's not like we accept it, we have to start the study tomorrow.
Right,
It's, you know, we would have to start the RFP process once we accept it and get those cost estimates. And I think, it could also be as in-depth as we want it to be. You know, if we want to make it a $100,000 study, or if we want to only spend $50,000, you know, sure, the more money you spend, the more in-depth it's going to be, and
Right.
vice versa, so.
which kind of ties back to what you said, find out what their
Yeah, yeah,
intention is.
I would agree, yeah.
How long have these grants been around?
Is there any potential for overrun costs? You know, that it runs into $125,000, now we're stuck with 75 grand, and
No.
they're giving us 50,000?
No, from when I spoke with the town engineer, I think he said, like, if you tell them, like, your budget is this,
Okay.
they could do the study based on that budget. It's, like I said, it just probably won't be as in-depth as they can go, but it'll still be a lot of, like, you know, new information that we can get, so.
Let's say you had your hand up. anyways.
Yeah, I think some of the questions have already been answered, but, you know, my whole deal on this is I think the study is of the utmost important. And I know that we're looking at monies, but the way I'm looking at it is towards the future. What I'm looking at as far as the future is concerned is that we have projects, tentative, could happen, could not happen. I mean, hindsight 2020, but the situation on that is that once those projects come through, and the study has already been, that money is gonna come back, because it's just like you stated. If they're gonna tap into it, well, they're gonna pay.
Yeah.
But guess what? It's already there, versus of us having someone who's trying to come, and it's not there yet. So now there's the question, well, you don't have this and you don't have that, and we can potentially lose that individual.
Yeah.
They don't
So-
pay us.
Well, this is
They-
true.
they
They
would
don't,
pay the town. They
no,
don't
I
pay us.
understand that. They pay, but you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the point that I wanted to make.
No, that's great. Yeah, my last perspective on this is, we've known about this grant for some time, now,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And we haven't secured a partner yet to offset this, right?
Okay.
So the county, we're still working towards it, it hasn't happened, so I would suggest that we would have to be prepared to be the match to it. Just prepared, not guaranteed to do it, but prepared
Okay.
to do it based on the interest levels thus far, the response thus far.
And my final question, why would we delay it? Why wouldn't we just go ahead and move forward with it?
Money.
Well, our money right now,
Financial
you know,
sector.
I think we have about, you know, Matt's gonna go over the financial report, but, you know, if we spend $50,000 right now, it takes us a year and a half, 2 years to see some of these bigger application, you know,
And it's
bigger
100.
fees.
It's
Right, it's
spending
100 that we have to spend.
100,000,
You know, if we run out of money, then, you know,
and then you wait to get it back,
yeah.
so it's a big chunk.
And I have one question. Have these grants been given to other IDAs?
Yes, I believe there's, I don't have it off the top of my head, but I remember when we were applying for it, they sent a list of similar,
And we can look into what they've done and how they've done it and how they did it.
well, so the grant itself is a strategic planning for economic development grant. So you can tailor it however you want. So it could be a water study, it could be, you know, extending infrastructure to a certain site development, you know, for site development. There's different avenues, like we're using it to expand water and sewer services, or trying to expand.
Right, but did they work in connection with the town or the village? You know, just see
Yeah.
how it just might give you a little education on it.
Yeah.
That's true. And what dividends they gotten back from it?
We used to do these when I worked at the New York City Economic Development Corporation, and we did it through their IDA. We did it with the city of New York. Different scale. It could still only be a $50,000 match, but we would do maybe even millions in studies. And there was strong coordination amongst those agencies, right? And I think that's the key thing here, is we just want to make sure we produce something,
Right.
it's in a situation where it's going to be used,
Yeah.
and we're trying to contribute towards something the town as a whole wants to accomplish. What we don't want to do is spend $100,000 on something
Yeah,
and sit
right.
on the shelf.
Well said.
I have another question too. When was the last time the town did a study like this?
I think it was when they did the corridor study, they touched on the water and sewer.
I was here for that. I don't know how in-depth they
Yeah, that's the thing, you know, I think it needs to be updated.
We have the study too.
Yeah,
Was that beneficial?
I think the corridor study is, but yeah, I think it's beneficial. It kind of lays out certain paths of development where the town struggles with infrastructure, the town should focus on for investment. So I do think it's beneficial to have. I do, yeah.
So we have to figure out how we're gonna decide it, if it can be delayed, and if they would possibly offer this again. Those three things.
So-
I would imagine they would offer it again. I don't know when they do that.
From a governance standpoint, like, what is needed for any next step?
Right.
Do you need a resolution, do you need a resolution to accept the grant, or if we find all the details beneficial to accept the grant, we can relinquish it, doesn't necessarily commit us to it? Is he already in a situation as executive director to do that? Do we need a resolution by the board to do so? Because we don't want to have a special meeting between now and December 4th.
Eventually, you'll need a resolution, but you can
To
vote
make,
on it.
to do a financial match.
Right, to enter into
Yeah.
the terms of the grant.
Is there a resolution that we can pass to grant me the authority to do it based on certain conditions that if?
We don't have those conditions outlined, I wouldn't recommend it, right? If you came in here today with conditions outlined that we would be reviewing and we could debate, I would say yes. Doing it off the cuff, though, I don't feel comfortable recommending that to the board.
So what would you do if he got all the answers and we liked all the answers and he emailed us? Would we come together for a meeting?
We'd have to do a special meeting, do the announcement,
Okay.
bring us together, yeah.
Or hold our meeting early, next meeting, come a week early?
How many days' notice do we need for a public meeting?
So it's a couple of weeks, isn't it?
Is it 48 hours?
I'd have to look into it, what your time frame is for a special
I
meeting.
forget what it
I think it's a week.
is. You had to give a certain amount of time.
I don't know, yeah.
It was more than 2 days. It was a week or 2 weeks, I'm not sure.
All right. Well, we'll work with what we have and what we can do, let's put it that way, right? So you let us know, figure out if we have to do something special, we'll figure out how to coordinate it, all right? All right, so if we can, now let's pivot into the financials.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
can we talk about this, can I ask another question
Yeah.
on this, just for a second? Sheffield Gardens.
Yep.
As a town resident, obviously, we're all aware that this is a high-profile project. Again, I understand the thought process behind, like you said, when you were up in Ithaca, I think, and they were telling you about, you know, workforce housing. I understand all of that. My issue is why would we offer a pilot program to a project that is almost near completion in the end? It's not an incentive. They're coming with or without it. They never counted on that. It was never an option. So why would we do that, number one? And number two, you're setting a precedence for other investors to say, I mean, I know I would be interested. I'll get a couple friends, we'll put up an apartment complex for workforce housing. That's really not what I always thought of when I thought of the IDA. And number three, do we have any studies in this area of who we've lost because we can't house people? Because I mean, just in my personal life, yes, apartments don't last long here, 100%. But the last I knew from the forward grant from Montgomery, when they were doing this, like affordable housing is $1,800 a month. That's affordable housing.
Affordable housing is defined by housing that is not more than 30% of your annual income for housing costs. And that's based on 80% to 120% average median income for your area. So, you know, yeah, it could, for some people, affordable housing might be, you know, if you have a $100,000 a year salary, that might look like a $2,200 month rent for a two-bedroom, or whatever. I don't have the
Right.
numbers in front of me right now.
For the grant, it was $1,800. That's what the state said. They had done a study.
I will say there is, I've had discussions with Adam Bosch, who's the CEO for Pattern for Progress, which does a lot of the housing studies and reports for the Hudson Valley and in the Mid-Hudson region. And there's a massive critical need for housing in this area. You know,
Where are we seeing that the businesses aren't coming into this area? Because I don't know and please tell me if there are, how many opportunities have we missed in the town of Montgomery because we don't have the people to fill the projects? That's
Well,
gotta be a statistic somewhere.
I know that, if you look at the current landscape of Montgomery, we don't have much advanced manufacturing here, if any. There's a lot of warehouse development here. I think a lot of that is tied to the fact that, you don't need housing for those types of projects. So they're not career-building projects, so you don't need career residents to fill those jobs in your neighborhoods.
But career positions are gonna, that's not affordable housing a lot of times.
Well,
So it's,
I could say, I have a career job, I would say, and I think, $2,200 a month for me is not easy. That's like my mortgage
no,
currently.
it's not easy for
So
anyone.
it's, so affordable housing is really what market rate housing should be.
That's my point.
But it's, again, it's, this, in the Sheffield Gardens, it's not a affordable housing project. They want to give priority to first responders and nurses and
Right.
doctors.
How do you do that, though? How would you do something like that legally?
I
How
don't know.
can you
That's-
legally discriminate and say, well, my first choice is, are you the medical? Because when they sold the program, they also did say at a public hearing that they estimate only like 50 children are gonna live there.
Yeah,
I don't know how they were coming up with these figures, and, I mean, if we had to take a vote today, I am definitely a negative, only because the project has already been started, and we're not.
But I just want to clarify that too, because the
residential.
project technically has not been started. Yeah, they're going through the planning board now, but they have to go through the planning board. Every project has to go through the planning board before they can come to us and get incentives. I could say, I can't say if it will or will come or not. I can say when I first met the developer about a year ago and talked about the project, they had said that they didn't know that they can come to us. They were gonna go to Orange County IDA for the project. So I can't speak whether or not it's
Right.
gonna come to us or if it's gonna happen or not. I know it may seem like that.
Right.
And that's kind of an argument that we have with people that, a project's in front of the planning board, oh, but they're coming anyway, why do they have to go to the IDA? Well, they have to go, because they have to get a negative seeker before they can come to us and get incentives. So there's a lot of moving parts of that project, there's a lot of approvals that they need to get for that project before they can even consider the incentive side of it, and, to get that neg deck seeker. So that's kind of the argument against, you can't say that they're absolutely coming, but, because it's in the planning board.
One other question, you brought up something about the Orange County IDA when you had said
Yeah.
that. I don't know this, so if you could just let me know. Hypothetically, if a company came in this area and they did go to the Orange County IDA, and they received a pilot program through them, does the town of Montgomery, and it was set up here through the Orange County, they're still on our tax roll, it's just paid from, how does that work?
Well, if
No,
anyone,
we
if
have-
anyone tried to go through the Orange County IDA before coming to us, the Orange County IDA would direct them to the local municipality first.
Okay.
So I don't think there'd be any case where they would take on a project without us having first dibs on it, I should say.
Okay.
Are they allowed to go to Orange County IDA? Technically, I believe they are. If we deny a project, I don't, there's,
Why not?
But do we collect as a municipality? Is somebody? 'cause
the
it's-
tax payments go to the municipality, of course.
Right.
We don't get it. The IDA does, our IDA doesn't get any money for that. No.
No, but we're not losing the tax money either. So
No.
you see, because when you have a program, you're
Yeah.
given,
No, I mean, they give the same pilot as us, might be structured a little bit different.
right,
But all the money goes to the municipality.
It's just the municipality doesn't have a say whether or not they want the pilot or the full
Yeah.
tax roll.
right. We have a little more control over if it stayed here, okay.
So what I'll just add on Sheffield Gardens, at this point, as far as I understand, we don't even have an application or anything. So
No.
we have no detail to even evaluate.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't want to, yeah, that's
Oh, I
why.
thought you had said they picked up an application.
They picked up an
Haven't submitted
application, but they haven't submitted it. I
Okay.
haven't seen it. I don't know what they're asking for. They may or may not apply for a pilot. I don't
Okay.
know.
So I just wanted to put that in
Thank
just
you.
a timeline
Thank you.
perspective. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense, thank you.
All right. So, anyone else with questions, feedback? All right. Matt, finances, please.
Yes, sir. All right, the public fund, we have $11,341.37. We transferred $20,000 from account 4593 to bring our total up to $31,341.37. The checks that we wrote for Lauren Rowley, $750. Acquisition marketing, $1,050. Acquisition marketing, $925, $1,050. Orange County Partnership, $175. And Lauren Rowley, $1,500. Bringing the total to $26,816.31. That's in the public fund. Sailfish escrow, $3,212. Key capture energy escrow, $1,480. City winery escrow, $580. The MMDA municipal fund, we have $277,185.67. We got $462.39 in interest. We transferred to account 3366 for $20,000, bringing the checking account balance to $257,648.06. Hudson Valley Country Club escrow, we have $7,187. Public fund bank card, we have $569.61 to start. Then we withdrew $41.09 for QuickBooks, $285.45 for Google, and another $41.09 for QuickBooks, bringing the checking, that account balance to $201.98. Orange Bank and Trust, we have $26,816.37. Orange Bank and Trust Sailfish escrow, $3,212. Key Capture Energy escrow, $1,480. City Winery escrow, $580. Our trust money market, we have $257,648.06. And the Hudson Valley Country Club escrow, $7,187. And the Trust Public Fund Bank card, we have $201.98, bringing us to a grand total of $297,125.41.
Okay, any questions, comments? Can I get a motion to accept the
So
financials?
that transfer of 20 grand to that account number 3366?
That's to cover, because we had to cut a check for Q3 wages for the years.
For what?
The wages for Q3 of this year.
Oh, okay.
So just to put enough money in the bank so when they cash the check, it'll clear.
Then okay.
Any other questions? No? Can I get a motion to accept the financials as presented?
I'll make the motion.
Can I get a second? Second, excellent. Down the line, please.
Aye.
Stacy?
Aye.
Matt?
Aye.
I'm an aye.
Aye.
All right, the motion's passed. All right, the next thing on the agenda is the IDA term cycle and bylaw amendment vote. So this is what we've discussed the past couple of meetings. Nothing has changed. There's a reference to the proposed reappointment schedule. I do want to note that on there that when we say replacing Bob Santo
Oh, yeah.
resigning, it's actually retiring.
Sorry.
So that change is formally noted, and that's noted twice within that document. If I can ask, I don't actually have a copy of the resolution that we're
Yeah,
passing, so,
I had sent it out last month. I didn't know if you wanted me to print it all back again, because nothing's changed. We've had eyes on it for 2 months now, I think. But if you want me to get that first, I can.
yeah, I'll pull it. It was the last one?
It should be on there, yeah.
Should we try to schedule a meeting before the 9th, before the 4th? Or can you do it on the 4th?
Okay, I think we technically could, yeah.
We'd know answers by then, right?
I don't have it yet, sorry.
So it's really just that statement there.
Oh, the red line piece?
Yep.
All right, so I want to pass a resolution, which Rudy, you can help us craft with better terminology if you want. But It was, last month we reviewed a red line version of our bylaws. Those red line version was under section 5 members. So this is the way it currently will read if we accept it. Members, A, the agency shall be comprised of 7 members, each a member, as appointed by the town board of the town of Montgomery. Each such member shall serve for a 3-year term or until such member dies, resigns, or is replaced for cause by resolution of the town board. The members' terms shall be staggered so that there will be no more than 3 members' terms shall expire in the same calendar year. Each member must be a resident of the town of Montgomery. A public officer or employee may be appointed as a member of the agency without forfeiture of any other public office or employment. So the 2 primary changes there were the town, if they were to try to remove any of us, would be required to have cause. And the second change there was just adding the 3-year terms, not term limits, but terms. And then we use the appointment schedule, so the terms expiring, that would be expiring in December 2028, would be up for reappointment this January 2026 with the town board, which I imagine they would take up in December, maybe January, who knows. But would be myself, and then the replacement for Bob's retiring position. The second cycle of appointments would be expiring December 2029 with a reappointment of 2027, and that's George and Stacy. The follow-on year would be 2030, reappointed in 2028 would be Jose and Greg. And then whoever is appointed at the end of this year would be up for reappointment in 2030, reappointment in 2029 through 2031 and so forth. So that was the example. All right, so if I can, at this point, ask for, yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to point out that there's an additional red line in Article 2, Section 2B, just setting forth the term of the officers, how it'll be, it was just the addition of the word next for annual meetings.
Next annual meetings.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, so this document is what had been distributed previously. Sorry, there's not a copy here right now, but it's there. Any final questions, concerns? If not, can I ask someone for a motion?
Sure, I'll make the motion.
Second?
I'll second.
All right. Roll call?
Aye.
Stacy?
Aye.
Matt?
Aye.
Myself and I?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, the motion's passed. Thank you. So now we have any other business?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
We're reading all about Amazon, leasing all these players, all these workers. Is that damaging our contract with them, and do we have any reason to apply for clawback?
So I don't have their employment numbers for this year yet. We will have that.
Isn't that, don't we do, is that one of the things
So
we do?
we do monitor their employment every year. That usually gets done with the auditors. When we're doing the audit team will reach out to them for them to submit their employment numbers and, to make sure that they're maintaining their employment, numbers that they said they're going to create when they applied for the
When is
idea.
that gonna be?
That usually happens between January and March, because we have to submit the Paris report with those numbers in March. So if they're under the numbers that they said that were stated on their application,
Thousands they let you go, they probably are from
thousands from the Montgomery facility?
No, not overall, not,
600,000, right?
no, so you're talking about the whole world.
The whole country.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Aren't they?
I don't know if they're,
Well, yeah, and that,
Are they
that's
building it right
unknown, I don't know what.
yeah, I don't want to speak, with any misinformation. So I don't know, I haven't heard of any layoffs at the Montgomery facility here. So until we see those numbers come in, I don't want to, say that they are laying people off. I don't want to put that out into the channels because I don't have that information,
It's
so.
in the newspapers, it's still laying people off.
I mean, I don't know if that's from our area, from Texas, I have no idea, I don't know.
Company, I think he means company-wide.
Yeah,
Anyway, there's going to be a review.
but yes, to answer your
That's-
question,
okay,
yes,
that's
if
self-satisfied.
they are under there are job creation numbers that were on their application, then there are things in place for clawbacks, yes.
Thank you.
Well, the good news is we'll have lots of workforce.
So for new business, so I want to pass these out. I want to pass something out to the board. It's a resolution for.
So, yeah, we have a special resolution that we just want to put in front of the board recognizing Bob for his service. So once everyone has a copy. So I'll read it out loud for us. So a resolution of appreciation honoring Robert Bob Santo for his dedicated service of the town of Montgomery Industrial Development Agency. Whereas Robert Bob Santo has faithfully and honorably served as a member of the town of Montgomery Industrial Development Agency Board of Directors, contributing his time, experience, and commitment to advancing economic opportunity and community growth within the town of Montgomery. And whereas Robert began his career serving his country in the United States Army within the Counterintelligence Division, demonstrating leadership, discipline, and strong sense of duty that is carried throughout his life of public and community service. And whereas following his military service, Robert pursued a distinguished professional career in the field of science, working for organizations such as the Environmental Science Associations and Johnson & Johnson, where his expertise and professionalism earned great respect amongst his peers. And whereas Robert has been an integral part of the Montgomery community for decades, serving 15 years in the Valley Central School Board, 12 of those years as president, where he helped guide the district's success and growth. And whereas his dedication to public service extends far beyond his professional and elected roles, having also served on the Town of Montgomery Ethics Board for 2 years, volunteered for the Town of Montgomery Little League for 25 years, the local Boy Scouts for 10 years, and on St. Mary's Church Council for 3 years. And whereas through his service on the IDA board, Robert has continued to exemplify his lifelong commitment to community betterment, bringing valuable insight, integrity, and thoughtful leadership to the agency's mission of fostering responsible economic development. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the Town of Montgomery Industrial Development Agency hereby expresses its deepest appreciation to Robert Bob Santo for his outstanding service, leadership, and dedication to the Town of Montgomery. And be it further resolved that this resolution be entered into the official minutes of the Town of Montgomery Industrial Development Agency, and that a copy be presented to Mr. Santo as a token of the board's gratitude and esteem, with best wishes for continued health, happiness, and success in all future endeavors.
Do we have to vote on this?
Now, we have the motion to accept the
motion.
resolution, yes.
If I can get a motion to accept this resolution.
I'll make a motion.
Stacy, Jose, second. Roll call.
Aye.
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 Congratulations.
Enthusiastically aye.
Aye, with pleasure.
Bob, I just want to say, I know I've only been in this role, working for you on the board for the past year, a little over a year now, but it's been a pleasure, and you will be missed dearly. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. And I will say Bob. With that, if there's no other business, can I get a motion for adjournment?
Make the motion.
Second? Second. Roll call?
Aye.
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 All right, the motion's passed. Thank you, everyone.